And what if I told you that you can study just 2 hours a day and absorb the equivalent of 6 full hours of study? It seems unbelievable, doesn't it? But it's not magic, it's pure science. Think with me, how many times have you spent the whole day studying, flipping through pages, filling your notebook with notes, and when you closed the book, it seemed like nothing had stuck? This is frustrating, I know. Now imagine the opposite, ending the day with the feeling that every minute was worth it, that the content is fresh and clear in your mind. Today I will reveal a scientific routine that completely transforms the way you learn. And not only that, by the end of the video, you will have a ready-made map that you can apply starting tomorrow. And look, I'm not here to sell a magic formula, let alone a miraculous trick. What I'm going to show you is based on serious research on focus, memory, and productivity. Techniques that scientists have been studying for decades and that are now within reach of anyone who wants to study better in less time. I myself tested this routine. Before, I also spent hours sitting in front of the books, tired, thinking I was learning. But in practice the next day, it seemed like I had wasted time. When I started applying this 2-hour routine, the difference was so absurd that it felt like I was cheating in the game of learning. And the best part, anyone can apply it. So stay with me until the end, because every detail matters, and if you miss a part, it might not work the same way. Let me ask you, how many times have you opened a book, started studying, looked at the clock, and realized that 3 or 4 hours had already passed? But when someone asked you what you learned, you could barely explain anything. This happens because most people study incorrectly. We believe that studying for a long time means studying well, but the brain doesn't work that way. It was not designed for concentration marathons. What happens when you try to force it? Your performance plummets. You start focused in the first few minutes, but after an hour, your mind is already wandering, thinking about other things. Result? Hours invested, very little retention. This generates fatigue, frustration, and often even discouragement. It's like trying to fill a bucket with holes. You pour in information, but it quickly leaks out. And it's not your fault. It's the methods. But there is a solution, an intelligent and scientific way to study that respects the limits of the brain and enhances memory. It's a short routine, just 2 hours, divided into strategic blocks, which tricks your brain in a good way, making it believe it has learned much more than the actual study time. Now I'm going to show you how this routine works, step by step. Before diving into your studies, prepare the ground. It seems simple, but it makes all the difference. Remove distractions, phone on airplane mode, notifications turned off, desk organized, and set a clear goal. Which chapter, which exercise, which specific content are you going to master in these 40 minutes? Because studying without a goal is like running without a finish line. You expend energy, but you don't get anywhere. Now dive in. During these 40 minutes, choose only one topic. No splitting attention between multiple subjects. Here, it's a deep focus. Read, underline, make small notes, but always focused on absorbing. Think of these 40 minutes as if they were the most valuable time of your day, because that's exactly what they are. Finished? Now pause. But it's not a break on your phone or TikTok. It's an active break. Get up, drink water, take a quick walk around the house, stretch. This break is not a waste of time. On the contrary, it is at this moment that the brain begins to organize and consolidate the information you have just received. Back to the table. Another 40 minutes. You can choose to continue on the same topic or pick another content. The difference is that now the mind is already warmed up and ready to absorb even more efficiently. Use techniques like mind maps, visual summaries, or better yet, explain out loud as if you were teaching someone. When you teach, your brain understands that the knowledge needs to be retained. And to top it all off, 20 minutes of active review. It's not just rereading what you've already done, it's about reviewing intelligently. Ask yourself questions, use flashcards, or explain out loud. This is the secret that triples retention. This is where 2 hours of study start to count as 6, because you are truly retaining the information. Now let me explain to you why this routine is so powerful. In the 19th century, the psychologist Hermann Ebbinghaus studied the so-called forgetting curve. He discovered that a few hours after learning something, we have already forgotten about 70% of the content. Scary, isn't it? But the good news is that when we review actively and strategically, this curve slows down. The information doesn't slip away so easily, and the memory becomes much more enduring. Moreover, neuroscience shows that our brain has peaks of focus. Working in blocks of deep concentration, followed by short breaks, is much more productive than long marathons. It's like a muscle. If you train non-stop, it fails. But if you alternate effort and rest, it grows faster. In other words, you are not just studying, you are hacking your brain to learn faster and more efficiently. I remember a friend who studied 6, even 7 hours a day preparing for exams. He would arrive at the end of the day exhausted, thinking he had done a lot. But when he reviewed, he realized he remembered very little. When he applied this 2-hour routine, at first he found it strange. Does it really work? But soon he noticed the difference. In no time, he started remembering more with less effort. And after a few weeks, he was already among the top of the class. He didn't change the amount of effort, he changed the strategy, and that made all the difference. This example proves one thing. It's not about studying more, it's about studying better. So here is the complete routine map. 10 minutes of preparation, 40 minutes of focus, 10 minutes of break, 40 minutes of focus, and 20 minutes of review. Simple, but extremely powerful. Now you have two choices. You can keep spending hours and hours with no results, or you can apply this routine starting tomorrow and feel the difference. If you like this video, subscribe to the channel because I will bring more study hacks proven by science. And comment down below, are you going to try this routine tomorrow? I want to see who will actually put it into practice. Because remember, studying well is not about quantity, it's about quality. And quality starts with method.